Rise of the Duelist is going to have some really good cards. Like, seriously, I know for a fact I'm going to need these cards because, well, I'm greedy, but there's no other reason to not want some of the better cards inside of the Yu-Gi-Oh! Card game, especially when they are game-changing. Now, because you my guy, I'm going to be sharing with you some cards you are going to need, and I'm being serious, boy, these cards is some sauce. And if you stick around for the later portion of the video, I'm also going to be giving you guys a review on the set, just some final thoughts that I think will piece everything together on how I feel about the set in its entirety. Without further ado, let's jump on in. So I'm gonna keep it a buck with you. These card prices are not going to be insanely accurate. I mean, it's kind of obvious seeing that sneak peek hasn't even arrived just yet. But this is going to be a good representation of what the card prices should feel like when everything dies down. One thing I've noticed about Eternity Code is that no one particular secret rare was at an exorbitant price due to the fact that we weren't getting short prints inside of a main set anymore. So I think we can cautiously say cards like Dogmatic, Duelist, the Knighted will start off at a soaring price for its sneak peek. But once boxes start to be opened, it will fall down to maybe that $40, $50 range per pop. Look, I'm not saying that that's cheap. All I'm saying is that it's way better than $80, $90 a pop we would have had if this was a regular set from years ago. Now, if you are going to play the Dragma archetype that now has been changed to Dogmatica, I miss saying Dragma balls. I really did. Then you are going to need this card because it can summon itself anytime a monster is special summoned from the extra deck, and it can negate a monster on the field. I think the Dogmatic archetype is going to be a driving force to a huge meta shift. There have already been theorizing amazing decks such as Dogma Invoked, Dogma Shadow, Dogma Edlich, because that's a thing. And this is going to be one of those sought after cards. A card that I am cautiously optimistic about is Triple Tactics Talent. Triple Tactical Talent. Triple Tactics Talent. Now, Triple Tactics Talent allows you to activate it only if your opponent have activated a monster effect during your main phase. You can either draw 2 cards, so you get Pot of Greed. You can look at your opponent's hand and shuffle 1 card into their deck, so it's a Forceful Sentry, or you get to take control of your opponent's monster inside of the Change of Heart. I feel like Triple Tactics Talent is a really good card and a must-have card because everyone else will want it. That's why you have to have it, because everybody else wants it. And we ballers over here. But as far as competitive play, again, I'm cautiously optimistic about this card. There have been so many great Yu-Gi-Oh cards on paper, that seemed really game-breaking and unfortunately completely flopped. I'm not saying that I'm not saying that Triple Tactics Talent is going to be one of those cards. I'm just saying that it's awkwardly doesn't really provide a solution to the problem, if you get what I'm saying. Like, drawing 2 cards or changing heart in opponent's monster is great and all, but they're going to have multiple negates, right? I can see Tactics starting off at about an $80 card, but the hype, I think, will never settle on this card, settling at about a $50 to $60 range. You have to remember that it's a Forceful Sentry, a Forceful Sentry, a Pot of Greed, or a, what the fuck is that other card? You have to remember that it's either a Forceful Sentry, a Pot of Greed, or a Change of Heart. 3 cards that are on the forbidden list. Players are always going to think that this card is going to be amazing no matter what. Now, I typically like to save the best for last, but I really just can't contain myself. You should already know how I feel about really strong Yu-Gi-Oh cards, and this one can be argued as the best card in the entire set. Chaos Ruler, the Chaotic Magical Dragon, is a level 8 Synchro monster. When was the last time we got a good level 8 Synchro monster? If you say Borreload Savage Dragon, I will fight you because that's like a year ago. Now, when Magical Dragon is Synchro Summon, you get to excavate the top 5 cards of your deck and then add a light or dark monster to your hand and send the remaining cards to your graveyard. It is essentially whatever Lightsworn monster it wanted to be, and it can even send cards like Wolf the Lightsworn Beast to the graveyard and trigger its effect. You goddamn right I'm doing the Birdman hand rub on this card. Lightsworn's too strong. So not only does this card fuel your chaos strategies and put critical cards into the graveyard, it can also special summon itself by banishing a light and a dark monster from the graveyard. The cool thing about this is that we don't care about it being banished when it leaves the field because we'll Exceed summon with it and put it right back into the graveyard, right? Fortunately for us, at best, I can see Chaos Ruler being about $20. It's a great card, but it's only a one of in almost any deck that will require it. That and Chaos decks aren't popular and players don't know how good a Chaos deck can be until now. Yeah, that's the face of I'm going to make another Lightsworn deck and it's going to be boss. Or should I just say, chaotic. But Forbidden Droplet is a card that is freaking phenomenal. I mean, not only does it follow the Forbidden lore, I mean, who wouldn't want more of that? It allows you to send cards from your hand to the graveyard to be able to negate face-up cards on your opponent's side of the field. And then furthermore, your opponent can't activate cards in response to the cards you send to the graveyard. So for example, if I send a Spell Trapper monster, not only do I get to negate 3 cards on the field, my opponent can't respond with a Spell Trap or monster. Now, of course, we obviously aren't going to be doing that. We typically only need to send spells or traps and monsters, and then we can proceed to negate our opponent's board and just go through with the rest of our plays. Now, we've been getting a new Gizmek card in every set since Rising Rampage. Only one of them did not see competitive play in any regard, but it's still a really good card. Gizmek Okami is going to follow that trend in Rise of the Duelist. It can be special summoned by having 2 or more monsters that were special summoned from the extra deck to the side of the field. Furthermore, at the cost of 1,500 life points, which is literally nothing, you can destroy all special summoned monsters from the extra deck on the field. Gizmek Okami is similar to Gizmek Yuka. It's a really good card in certain situations and will probably fit around that $5 price tag when the set drops. It's going to be really one of those solid cards. Dogmatica Maximus is amazing. It pretty much can special summon itself to the side and field for free by banishing a monster in the graveyard that was originally from the extra deck. So Fusion, Synchro, Exceed, or Link. It can also send monsters from the extra deck to the graveyard with different names. Cards like Herald of Arclight and Elder Entity Entis immediately come to mind because they can gain their abilities and fuel for Dogmatica Maximus. This is the best card that Dogmatica does have. You can say that it's dogmatic that you should get it. Or dogomatic? Automatic? Dogomatic? Yeah, you get what I'm saying. Hopefully, if my prices are correct, Dogmatica Maximus will sit at about that 40 to 60 ranges. Secret Rares don't seem to be able to explode like the other sets, especially seeing that they're not short printed anymore. The last card I want to share with you guys is Ice Dragon's Prison. Ice Dragon's Prison allows you to special summon one monster from your opponent's graveyard to your side of the field, and then you and your opponent have to banish monsters with the same type as the monster you special summoned. You obviously get to choose both cards. This card is amazing against strategies like Solomon Great. I swear, if you banish both my Sunlight Wolves, I will find you. I will come after you, and you will rue that day. But it is also amazing against a myriad of other decks that like to play mono types. I really feel that this card isn't going to be worth a lot immediately. I think it's going to be a $1 to $2 card, and then I'm going to make a video of buy these cards before it skyrockets in price. When it hits that threshold, buy them all out, and then it's going to shoot up to like $40 and everybody's going to complain. I mean, that's what I normally do, right? No? Oh. Well then. Well, that's all that I have for this particular video in the cards that you are going to need from the Rise of the Duelist set. I've included some cards that I really think are interesting on my Patreon, and don't worry, my guy, I'm not going to leave you out. It is a Patreon exclusive, featured, what's the word I'm looking for? Timed exclusive, that's exactly what I'm looking for. Don't worry, again, you'll be able to see it in the middle of the week for everyone, but if you are a Patreon member, you'll be able to see it right now. A full review on this set is I feel that the Rise of the Duelist set has some really high-end sought-after cards. Cards that, of course, will change the meta and are going to be needed, but then there's some low, some really, really low cards that are just like filler. I mean, to keep it a buck with you guys, there is no reason that there should be so many slots for Gaia cards in the super and ultra rare category. I mean, I like Gaia myself, and I still wouldn't give it that many slots. That's kind of ridiculous. Overall, I have to give the Rise of the Duelist a 7.5. Maybe towards the 7 out of 10. It has some really good top heavy cards, but it fails to give you guys those really good common cards or those highly sought after supers or ultra cards that a more complete set would do. Now, as per usual, I gotta thank you for watching, but I don't know why I'm thanking you, my boy. You're gonna watch all my videos, just like how you're going to like this video, share with one of your friends, and also click on another one of these videos that'll interest you. As always, I'll catch you on the next one, man. Stay safe.